Hello everybody, welcome back. Jordan here. Today we're going to be taking a look at and comparing 4 different LEGO Star Wars Imperial Shuttles that came out over a 20-year period. Starting in 2001 and most recently coming out in 2021. But hold on, wait a minute, there's actually not 4, there's actually 5. This is the promotional polybag that also came out here in 2021, which is pretty awesome. You can see the wings can be in flight mode, or they can also be folded up into landed mode. The cockpit can be moved. It's got the nice dorsal fin on the top there, blasters on either wing, and then we also have some thrusters on the back and some landing gear on the bottom. This is a pretty sweet promotional polybag that came out here in 2021. Today we're going to start by taking a look at the smallest and oldest one that was issued in 2001, and then we're going to work our way up to the largest one, which is the Ultimate Collector Series one from 2010. So this one here is LEGO set 7166. As you can see, it comes with 4 great minifigures here. Starting with the Palpatine minifigure on the left side, this minifigure is pretty sweet. You can tell it's old because he's got the traditional yellow head. Also got that nice hood piece, cape, and a nice printed torso. Then we have 2 Royal Guards. They're both supposed to have red hands, but apparently when I bought the set on the secondary market, somebody swapped out the red hands with black hands. Then we have the Imperial Shuttle pilot with, once again, the yellow head and a nice hat there with some print detailing on his torso. And of course, the minifigures can be put inside the Imperial Shuttle. In particular, we put the pilot inside the cockpit there. Pretty basic cockpit. It's got a 1x2 print piece there. The windscreen is also printed, and same with this piece right here, which is pretty unique and pretty awesome. That'll just clip on there, a few studs holding it in. Has a little bit of a range of motion there. We've got some blasters on either wing and then the thrusters. And of course these wings will go into flight mode as well, like all of the Imperial Shuttles. Pretty basic mechanism on this one here, you know, it's pretty old school. And something a little bit different is they have a lot more grays, light gray and dark gray in the dorsal fin and also in the body. And those wings just very easily fold back up into position. It's a pretty basic build, it's pretty bulky, and we've got some basic tables on the bottom, which are actually our landing gear, so it can just be landed just like that there. There is a little bit of cargo room in the back here, and this is actually where you stick your other minifigures. They're on this little skiff here that can be pulled out, and you can see there's the Royal Guard spears on either side, and we've got Palpatine and the 2 Royal Guards face to face there, and they can just slide right into the back here. A little bit of a track that sort of just brings it in there, and then that can shut right behind them. Some basic tiles on the back here that's like those vent pieces in trans blue to represent the thrusters of this Imperial Shuttle. It's a vintage set in my opinion. I mean, it's from 2001, so yeah, it's pretty vintage. It's 20 years old. The oldest one that we're having a look at today. Not a huge piece count, 238 pieces in this one here, but I really like it. It's got some awesome minifigures, and it's just a classic. It's beauty. I also really like the print pieces in which it has as well. Pretty sweet. Pretty happy to have this one part of the collection here. And now we're going to move on to the next one, which is actually the newest one from 2021. So everybody execute order 66 because this one here has 660 pieces, comes with 3 fantastic minifigures, and like I said, was issued in the year 2021. So Emperor Palpatine and the Royal Guards are not included in this one because obviously it represents a different scene. You get Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and also the Imperial Officer. I really like this Darth Vader minifigure. It's got so much print detailing on the torso and on the legs. He is just epic. In fact, it is the Darth Vader that I have tattooed on my arm. Yep. Pretty cool. Then we have Luke Skywalker there. Got a little bit of print detailing on his torso. Obviously comes with the green lightsaber and the handcuffs. And then finally we have the Imperial Officer on the right side that comes with a blaster. The Darth Vader minifigure comes with the white head, and also Luke Skywalker has an alternate face. So there's one where he's sort of worried and one where he's sort of like half smiling. You know what? I'll give it to you guys straight. I think this one here actually let down a lot of LEGO Star Wars collectors here in the year 2021. I just don't think they used enough pieces to execute this properly. 660 pieces went into this, and they probably could have thrown an additional maybe 50 pieces at it just to give it a little bit more detail. In particular, I think that detail could have been added to the underside of the nose of the cockpit here. You can see there's a lot of open space here in which they could have sort of just bolstered this up a little bit on the bottom. We got a couple stud shooters, one on either side of the cockpit. The windscreen is literally just a 6x5 trans black panel there, and inside you can open it up just like that there and put your minifigure inside. Pretty basic. He just sort of lays down in there. There's not really any print detailing or anything inside the cockpit, so it's a little bit of a lunch bag letdown, if you will. We've got the dorso fin here. Is a little bit less light bluish gray, dark bluish gray accents in this one here compared to the one in 2001. And of course these wings will just fold down, actually similar to the one found in 2001. A few different angles here, and obviously a couple more blasters on either wing, which isn't bad. The thing that differentiates this one here completely from some of the others is actually the way that you access the interior here. So what happens is there's this little thing right here that's got the Technic pin just below this print piece right here. You actually just push on that and that will open up like that. So the dorso fin will go straight back. And that's a different mechanism than any of the other Imperial shuttles. You can just see there's a little Technic piece right here, and then there's a catch in here that'll just catch it. And it's a little bit different for sure. Not a very detailed interior there. There's spots for a couple minifigures. I'm not even going to put my minifigures in there because it's just self-explanatory, right? Like, it's nothing too crazy about this model. But you know why they did it? It's because they never really built one that's this scale. You'll see the next one here, the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium, is actually larger than this one. And of course, the one that we had in 2001 is a little bit smaller. The thrusters in the back here, huge improvement. Got a lot of tile work done around it there, and we used some trans blue tiles there to represent those thrusters. But yeah, it's a pretty basic model, but I actually like it. It's a decent price point. It's only 660 pieces, but you get some great minifigures. You know, you get the Luke Skywalker, and you also get the Darth Vader, and it represents a pretty sweet scene from the Return of the Jedi. So yeah, it's a pretty sweet set. It's obviously not my favorite of the Imperial shuttles, but it definitely gets the job done. But I don't know, I think they could have added another 30, 40 pieces to improve this look down here, especially when you look at it from this angle. It just doesn't look that good, to tell you the truth. Also, the landing gear is just like a couple Technic pieces, really. Room for improvement, but affordable and a low piece count. All right, this one here is the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium 75094, 937 pieces, and this one comes with 5 epic minifigures. I really like this one. It is much bigger than the one from 2021, and it is way better in my opinion. Let's start by taking a close look at the epic minifigures in which it comes with. So we've got 2 Endor Rebel Troopers. They come in the olive sort of camouflage, which is really great. They've got some awesome print detailing on their head, torso, and legs, like the camo pants that they're wearing, and the camo torsos are just absolutely amazing. I also really like their hats or headpieces that they're wearing. Then you've got your standard Chewbacca with the crossbow that's not a stud shooter. Then we've got Princess Leia and also Han Solo. Han Solo's in an Endor outfit, and the Princess Leia is in the camouflage. She has like that fabric piece, which is just amazing. Princess Leia has an alternate face. You can see it there. Same with Han Solo. So even though she has this fabric, she still has full print detailing underneath that fabric, which is pretty sweet. I like the camouflage fabric. That's a pretty epic touch on a minifigure. And they all have lots of print detailing on the back sides as well. Our 2 Endor troopers don't have any alternate faces, but nonetheless their torso pieces and leg pieces are pretty awesome, and I'm pretty thrilled to have these minifigures in this set. Just sort of something a lot different than your standard Lego Star Wars minifigures, I think. So of course all the minifigures will fit into the Imperial Shuttle. Actually, there's a lot of minifig space both in the cockpit and also in the body of the ship. The cockpit will open up just like that there. You can see one of the minifigures is already sitting in there, and we can place the other one. So you can fit both Endor troopers inside the cockpit, and the cockpit actually has a couple stickers on 2 different slopes. We got lots of firepower on this vessel here. You can see there's 4 different guns on either wing, and the wings will fold down just like any standard Imperial Shuttle, of course, to be put into flight mode. And you can see it's a little bit bigger and bulkier here. The mechanisms on the side using all these different circular elements and also the gears within. And the thing that I really like about this one is actually the interior. So this here will actually just open up like so, and you can see there's Han Solo on that side. There's also a crate in there. It's just got some miscellaneous stuff that you can just pop in here, and it'll just sort of sit on a stud within, just like that there beside that passenger. And then you can close this side up, go to this side, and we can open up this the same way, and then you'll have, oops, hit you with the wing there. You can see we've got Princess Leia and also Chewbacca in there. There's also 2 more blasters there and also a backpack accessory that you can put onto your Endor Trooper when they are not piloting this craft. So there's a couple gun accessories in there that you can add to your minifigs. And then once again, this opens up and you can see those sticker elements within there in the cockpit. This is probably my favorite smaller one. Obviously, it's not going to top the UCS one that we're going to be having a look at next. It's got some great detailing on the back there with lots of cheese wedges, tiles, and also the trans blue elements to represent the thrusters on the back, and also some nice landing gear here that can also be stowed away. So when it's in flight mode, you can put those back like that, and then when it's landed, they can be deployed like that there. So that's a nice touch there. So when it's actually on your shelf in landed mode, it's held up off the ground, you know, like an inch or so, and it just sort of adds a lot to the displayability of it. And you can see that there's a lot more elements that went into the bottom here to complete the cockpit compared to the one from 2021. So this one absolutely smolders the one from 2021, but obviously it's got 937 pieces compared to 660. So they used those additional just under 300 pieces very wisely to increase the complexity and just overall design of this one. It looks fantastic. It's amazing. I love this vessel here. This is actually my first Imperial Shuttle in my collection, and as you can tell, I officially now have 5 of them. And the next one we're going to be taking a look at is my favorite LEGO set of all time. And this is the UCS, or Ultimate Collector's Series Imperial Shuttle from 2010. And honestly, this thing is the grail of LEGO sets. This thing is amazing. It's absolutely massive with 2,503 pieces, more than double the size of all the other shuttles. And you guys saw the size comparison at the beginning of this video. The last one that we just had a look at is fairly decent. It's fairly large, and that's the Imperial Shuttle Tydirium. And the UCS set just towers over top of it. It is massive. Then you compare it to the one from 2001, and you'll just see that this thing is simply huge. It is amazing, and I am thrilled to have it here in my collection. I'm excited to show you guys some of the different features that this set has, and of course we will start with the minifigures. So this set here, of course, comes with Darth Vader, a Luke Skywalker, an Imperial officer, a Stormtrooper, and also an Imperial pilot. Darth Vader doesn't have quite as much detail as the one that we saw earlier from 2021. It doesn't have the leg detailing, but his head is a little bit different color. It's not the white head, it is the gray head. Then we, of course, have Luke Skywalker, just got some basic print detailing on his torso, and a basic Star Wars Stormtrooper. I'm sure we've seen hundreds of those before. And then the Imperial officer and also Imperial pilot. Pretty basic minifigures, but once again, it's from 2010. So this cockpit is absolutely massive. You can see the size of the windscreen and also the nose of it, created using all of those slope elements. Very easily opens up. You just lift this panel up back here, and this will actually slide forward. It actually lifts the ship up a little bit. The nose acts as almost like a little support beam. You can fit 4 minifigures in here comfortably, which is really cool. The only guy that doesn't really get in there is the Stormtrooper. He's lonely outside. They've got some sticker details, sort of the control panel in the front there, but you can fit your minifigures, just sort of stash the lightsaber in the studs beside Darth Vader and also Luke Skywalker, and then of course Imperial officer and Imperial pilot in the front. I usually just take my Stormtrooper and stick them right on the stand here, and of course we will put this on the stand by the end of this video, but right now it's in landed mode, and when you put it in flight mode, it can be displayed on its UCS stand, which is really cool. And there's the UCS plaque for the Imperial Shuttle. In order to fit this thing in the frame, I've got to bring my tripod way back so you can see the size of it. Just huge, like just demands its presence, right? It's massive. You got some blasters on either wing, so you got 4 there, and then the large wings with the large dorso fin in the center. And something that's different about the wings on this beast is they'll actually be hand cranked. So back here, trying not to wreck the place, we've got 2 cranks, and what you do is you just sort of crank these down. And as you crank them down, it will go into flight mode, and that's on either side. Each crank controls a wing. When going up, it's a lot more resistance. That doesn't really require any hand guidance or anything like that. You can just sort of crank it and it'll go down. You can see the thrusters on the back of the ship here. Also got some nice greebling in the back here as well, and some nice detailing on either side of the large dorso fin. These panels really do a great job of framing the body of the vessel here. Mostly Technic components in the inside so that we can get these wings cranked up and down. There is no interior in the body of the ship, but I'm okay with that because the Technic mechanisms in there require the space in order to have these wings on that crank mechanism. And you know what? The cockpit is so large that we didn't really need additional space in the inside to store our minifigures, other than our lonely stormtrooper, of course. Why don't we get these wings folded down here? We'll place it on its Technic display stand, because that's just how I like to display it. It is quite epic. So actually, in order to do that, what I do is take it off its landed stand, and the way I do that is I risque tilt it up like that there, and then you'll see this is actually its landing gear right here. There's some pins that you just got to pull out, and that's the landing gear right there. You can see it's got a couple feet, and these just go up vertically into the body. So it's secured on there by some huge Technic axles that go in pretty deep on the ship, so that makes it nice and secure on the landing gear. And now with the wings still folded up, I'm going to place it onto its Technic display stand right here. And you'll see this slope element with the flat tiles on the top, that'll just go in this hole in the bottom here. And you know, it actually doesn't look bad like this either. Even in the landed position on the Technic display stand, I don't even mind that. That's pretty sweet. You know what, it does take up a lot less room when you display it in landed mode compared to flight mode. There's actually a lot of void space when it's on the shelf right here. I mean, you could use a bunch of extra parts and pieces to sort of build something behind it to give it a backdrop, or maybe put some stands in behind it and put some TIE fighters behind it or something like that to try and fill that void space. But this is for sure my favorite LEGO Star Wars Imperial Shuttle. Once again, UCS, or Ultimate Collector Series from 2010. This thing is absolutely magnificent, massive. It demands a presence and is the grail of Imperial Shuttles. So everybody, that wraps up my review and comparison video of the 4 different LEGO Star Wars Imperial Shuttles in my collection. All of them come with different building techniques, minifigures, piece counts, and much more. Let me know what you think of these amazing LEGO Star Wars sets by commenting below. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, and may the Force be with you.